Good morning. Good morning, everyone. You have to live with the technology and cooperate with it. Rabita, the inner communion. Remember, Rabita is the inner communion between the sheikh and the disciple. And in this process, sheikh or the master is the key to transformation. Never make a mistake to judge the sheikh through his behavior, the outer appearances. He is beyond all actions. His actions and behavior are conscious device to transform you. Remember, his actions and behavior is the conscious device to transform you. At times and again I had given an example. We are living in the age of technology. We see a file, some information on internet. We want to save it. The process is known as download. Whatsoever is in the file, you can download it on a flash drive, on your system, or on a CD. But how long will it take to download on the CD or the flash drive depends on the speed of your internet and the size of the file. But within a few minutes, the entire file is downloaded on your system. That is one aspect, you can download it. And then if you want to read the audio file or watch the video file, it will take the entire duration of the size of the file. It takes a few minutes to download, but to read it or watch it, you are doing it in actual time zone. But while you are downloading, do you understand it? All you know that you have downloaded this file. And when you are watching it or listening to it, you are listening to it, but do you understand it during that horizontal time zone that the audio or the video file is being played? To understand, sometimes it takes a lifetime, and even then you cannot understand. When Hazrat Payghambar Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had the Miraj Sharif, and he went in the company of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, he downloaded the message on the flash drive of his mind. It took 23 years to explain to his Sahabis what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him. And this collection is known as Quran Pak, Quran Majid. Probably one or two would have understood. How many there are scholars on scriptures, on Quran and other aspects. They are interpreting the words of Holy Prophet according to their own understanding. But there is only one meaning. The meaning that Holy Prophet understood and communed to his Sahibis. But that is not, it happens, how long did it, as I said, that it does not take long to download the file. When in the battlefield of Kurukshetra and Mahabharata war was being fought, the conchs have been blown, the war has declared, it has begun. Arjuna asks his charioteer Krishna to take his chariot amidst the two armies so that he can have a clear view of all those who are arrayed, desirous to fight. And there, seeing the army, Arjun puts down his bow and arrows, saying that even if I win the war at the cost of the death of these friends and family, what will I gain? It is better to forget the war and lead a life of renunciation. At that moment, Krishna gives the message of Bhagavad Gita. As such as we have the script in our hands, it has 700 verses. If a verse is properly chanted, it will take 1 minute or 1.5 minutes. 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes if it is properly done. That means 1000 to 1400 minutes. The war is announced, begins with the sunrise and ends with the sunset. Did Krishna, although in the original Bhagavad Gita there were not more than 400 verses, the additional 300 verses were added on by the commentators like Shankar and others to give a better explanation. How did the communion, Bhagavad Gita was communed to Arjun in the first place? Krishna looked at Arjun. In a flash of a second, the subject matter was downloaded in Arjun's consciousness. He understood it. This is how, in the process of Rabita, when you are in the communion of the Sheikh on a day-to-day basis through Tawajjuh, the process of transformation continues. The message is downloaded in your system, make you understand, and you continue to live your life accordingly. Even if you have understood a single line, a single message of the Sheikh, that is enough to transform the life. It is said about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the one who was the propounder of ISKCON. He was going somewhere and he heard half a line of the sutra of Bhagavad Gita, and that was enough to bring about transformation in him. We learn, we remember, we chant the entire verses after verses, psalms after psalms, sutras after sutras of various scriptures, and yet still transformation does not happen. I recall when I was growing, my grandmother, the Sufi master, used to tell me that you have to develop your habits like that of your grandfather, that's Naqshbandi Sheikh Brij Mohan Lal. Developing the habits like that of the Sheikh, does it mean dress like him? No. That means your consciousness should be like that of him. What will he do in a particular circumstance and situation? When a problem comes in or a situation comes in, where are you going to draw the reference from? How can you solve this problem? If you have understood your Sheikh really, or the Rabita has been, then you will be acting according to the, you will be responding according to the consciousness of your Sheikh. If the situation has been with the Sheikh, he would have responded in this particular way. This is what is meant, that you have to develop your habits. Instead of habits, it would have been better you have to develop your understanding like that of your Sheikh. Your understanding has to be like that of the Sheikh, with total awareness. Therefore, a master who moves according to your explanations, who tries to fulfill your ambitions, will not be able to transform you. There is no way. Those who fulfill your expectations, they cannot transform you. If a Jain Muni is prohibited to walk in the night, then Jain followers will be his watchdogs. A Hindu master has to fulfill the expectations of the Hindu crowd. He cannot act otherwise even if he wishes so. So will a Muslim and also a Christian master act? If crowd elected master acts contrary to the wishes of the crowd, people who put him on the pedestal will pull him down from the same pedestal. Pope is decided, chosen from amidst the cardinals according to certain criteria and rules. But if he fails to live according to the criteria, then he cannot remain the Pope. He has to follow certain ways. Such a master will not help you in your search for religion. The crowd is always ignorant. The day crowd has to decide how a master should behave, the master follows the crowd. And then what will be the value of the master? A real master is alone and he does not follow any crowd. I am reminded of an anecdote about a Zen master, Koshiki. Koshiki's commune had many disciples. There are certain rules. One rule was the monk must take dinner once only before sunset. And there was something unique about Koshiki. He always had his dinner after the sunset. Also, Buddhist monks need to take their meals collectively so that no one can eat something else. But Kaushiki used to have his meals alone in his hut. And he used to eat all night. The news reached the king. He was a follower of the master. Human beings are blind. Not blind biologically, but blind to truth, blind to light, blind to understanding. No one could see the light of the master. They were not interested and they did not have the capacity to see the light of the master. No one could see the reflection of Buddhahood in the master. In the night, Kaushiki used to take his meals with the room closed. The king doubted that Kaushiki could be the master after all. He decided to investigate the matter himself. He could not understand why the master closes the door. He wonders if the master eats food which is forbidden. We hide if we are doing something wrong. Naturally, this is the rule of all of us. We hide what we consider to be wrong. This is just how we operate. So this is our understanding. We have no way to understand the behavior of the master. Ignorant hides the wrong and reveals the right. Or even if you have nothing to reveal, then create the impression of doing good. And don't let anyone know this. So with this in mind, the king and his minister hide themselves with swords in their hands behind the hut of the master. Religion is in danger. And the concern was to save the religion. That's why the king and the ministers came hiding themselves behind the hut with the swords in their hand. Very often the ignorant one who does not have realization of truth takes the responsibility of saving the religion, and this is the fact. All those who have no experience or realization of truth, who have not experienced truth, are responsible for saving the religion. All the religious custodians, the presidents, the vice presidents of various religious organizations, mosques, churches, temples, they are all political posts, and the priest is under their dominance. So those who do not have the glimpse of religiousness feel concerned about the danger to religion, and such people are really destroying the religion. So the king remained hiding. The master came hiding food under his gown. He closed his door. But the king had already made a peephole for this purpose of investigation. The master was so unique. He sat with his back facing the peephole and then started eating the meal. This became unbearable to the king. To them, master appeared very cunning, so they decided to enter the room through the window. As the king and the minister entered the room, the master covered the pot with his gown. The king insisted to see what the master was eating. The master said there was nothing for the king to see. But the king again insisted and said he will not follow the master-disciple tradition. He will not respect. The master said, if you wish, you can see. But the king should not be bothered about such things. The king was astonished and ashamed to see that the pot from which the master was eating had only boiled leftover stems and leaves of the vegetable discarded by the commune. What she was eating? Simply the boiled leftover stems and leaves of the vegetable discarded by the commune. The king got into difficulty. He could not understand the master. What is the use of eating such food? It was cold night, but the king started perspiring. The master said, "You think the wrongdoings have to be hidden, but the right things is also hidden. You hide the wrong and the master hides the right. This is the difference between you and the master. When you reveal the right, your ego is nourished. But when the wrong is revealed, your ego disintegrates. Master exhibits wrong and hides the right. It is in the profits of my public vices that I nourish my private virtues." It is very easy to nourish your private virtues in the profits of your public vices. What was the need of eating such food, hiding? Such is the device of the master to create situation for your transformation. The master began to laugh and said, "I knew very well one day you will come, because your eyes can only see the superficial. God is manifesting every moment, but you cannot see. You do not have the eyes. Tonight is my final night here. I am leaving this commune. Now you control and take care of the commune and everything. I cannot fulfill your wishes and code of conduct. If I have to fulfill your wishes, how can I transform you?" This is real master. Only a master who does not follow your wishes can transform you. Do not ever make a mistake to judge the master through his behavior. He is beyond all actions. His actions and behaviors are conscious device to transform you. I shall tell you one more anecdote about another master, a Sufi master, Junaid. He was a Sufi master. The king was his disciple. At one time the message has reached the king about Junaid that it was reported that Junaid drinks and remains in the company of wrong woman. The king thought, if it is so, then I will kill Junaid. Such persons consider themselves to be the real protector of the religion. Religion seems to be in the hand of such people. Is not it seems, it is in the hand of such people. That's why there is no religiousness. These people are ignorant and fanatics. In our present day terminology, these powerful people are called terrorists. In the name of religion, many atrocities are taking place. The man whom I put my trust seems to be wrong. If this is so, then he will be killed by me, the king told the informer. But he has to prove the allegation. The informer took the king to the lake. On the other bank of the lake, Junaid was sitting with a bottle of wine, and a veiled woman was pouring something into the cup from the bottle. Seeing this, the king pulled out his sword and asked the informer to go, as everything was clear and there was nothing more to prove now. As he moved forward, fear gripped him. How could he kill Junaid? The work can be done by soldiers. So he turned back. Same time a voice came in. This was the voice of Junaid. When you have come so far, then come a little closer. When you want to know something, you need to come face to face and know it. You have to come face to face and then do it. Listening to this, the king could not leave. Frightened, king came close to Junaid. Junaid gave the bottle to the king, which contained nothing but colored water. And then veil was removed. The woman was no one else but Junaid's mother. And what is the use of such acting? Master uses such device to keep the ignorant one away. Chachaji, the Sufi Raghuvar Dayal used to say, I do not want the worldly dog to come to my doorsteps. Dogs have a habit to come to the doorsteps in search of the food, nourishment. The ordinary dogs are honest, but the worldly dog is cunning. So he used to say, I do not want the worldly dogs to come to my doorstep. Masters use such devices to keep the ignorant away. Master waits for the right person and right moment before he can transfer his being to a deserving one. It is said in the 6th century AD, the king of Wu dynasty in China invited a Buddhist master Bodhidharma to China. It was a great occasion. Bodhidharma lived 1000 years after Gautam the Buddha. The king was very pleased that a great master is coming from India along with his retinue, the queens, the ministers and the elite of the society. He came on the border to receive the great master. But when Junaid came, it was a very embarrassing scene. He had one slipper in his foot and the other on his head. Master does not fulfill your criteria. So seeing this, Junaid, the Wu, looked at the people whom he had invited and felt embarrassed. After that, he asked Bodhidharma that I had been doing great charitable works. I have been feeding the monks, the poor. Many monasteries have been opened, schools and all this. What is the outcome of all that? People consider these charitable works as a part of the religious work and it will transform them. Bodhidharma said, with all this you will not get the place even in the 7th hell. This further embarrassed king. Bodhidharma said, this is how I am. If you want me to be in your place, is okay. Otherwise I will go and wait for the person who I have come here for. You invited me, but I have come here for something else. And it is said Bodhidharma remained facing the wall for 9 years. Then a man named Huineng came and he stood behind Bodhidharma and he said, Bodhidharma, turn your face towards me, other I will cut off my hands. Bodhidharma did not respond. Then, after some time, Huineng again said, Bodhidharma, turn your face towards me, otherwise I will cut off my head. Bodhidharma turned his face towards him and he said, then something can be done. What is this significance of these two words, cut off my hand and cut off my head? Did he literally mean cutting off the hands? Cutting off the hand means when he will cut off his hands and offer him, this symbolically means I will offer myself at your service, at your work. Whatever you ask me to do, I will do it. This is symbolized by cutting off the hands. And cutting off the head, Bodhidharma did not respond because he do not want the yes man. He wants the man of understanding. Cutting off the hand means involving in, and cutting off head means all that is there in your head, your conditionings, your behaviors, your understanding of the scripture of religion, you are cutting off and offering at the altar of the Sheikh. It used to happen whenever Sheikh Raghbar Dayal Chachaji used to visit the town of his in-laws. There he had one of his disciples. He will stay at his place, and one Pandit used to come, and each time when he will come, he will not touch his feet. Instead, he will bow down, because Pandit is of a higher caste as compared to that of the master. But this time when he came, and nobody knew, but the master knew that it was his last visit to this town. After that, he will be no more. So the Pandit came as usual. This time, instead of bowing to the master, something came to him and he put his head on his feet. At this, Chachaji Raghbar Dayal, the Sufi master, said, "Pandit, putting your head on my feet will not work. What is there in it? Put that, only then something can happen. What is there in your head? When you put that, only then something can happen." The person did not understand that, but a process was triggered with that. Many years after, he came to the company of Sufi Braj Mohan Lal, the son of Raghbar Dayal, and then he got initiated and his process continued. He said that time when Chacha told him that by putting your head on my feet is not going to help. What is there in it? When you put that, only then something could trigger. He did not understand that. And the reality, the master has to look for the deserving one. Never judge a master through his behavior. Behavior is outside and the reality is within. If you follow the doubt, you can never come to a master. Out of trust, one day you will reach to the point when doubt will vanish. Life is a law of waiting. If you can wait, everything gets completed. Life wants everything to attain fruition. Do not pick unripe fruits. The fruits will ripe. When fruits ripe naturally, they must fall. You may not have to climb the tree even to pick up the fruits. If you are in a hurry, you may pick up the unripe fruits. For this, you have to climb the tree, and if you are not an expert, you can fall. And once the unripe fruit is picked up, the chances of it getting ripe may finish. There are the naturally ripe fruits, and the fruits like banana, they are picked up and then put it in a particular place in a particular way so that they can ripe. If you are in a hurry, you may pick up some unripe fruits. Pay attention to trust. Do not fight with doubt. When master calls, respond in affirmative. This will not mean your doubt has vanished. Doubt will remain there, but you will pay attention. You know doubt exists. You may hide from others, but not from the master. In this Zen koan, Hoshin replied 3 times. But the master alone spoke and asked for forgiveness, noticing disciples' state of doubt. But seeing the state of growing trust, said, in fact, you need not ask for forgiveness. In the whole koan, these 2 sentences are very significant. First sentence is, for arising doubt in Hoshin, I know there are doubts in you, and those doubts want an apology from me. This is disturbing your sleep. I am not letting you rest and unnecessarily keep on calling you without telling the intention. Why am I calling? To a doubting mind, this is madness. Hence, it requires an apology from the master. Thus, this statement is significant, so the master proposes to ask for forgiveness. Maybe Hoshin is paying little bit attention to his doubting mind, but the proposal of the master to ask for forgiveness worked at a catalyst and awakened Hoshin. Immediately, he became aware of the doubt, and with this awareness, mind moves from doubt to trust. Master is noticing this inner happening. As the shift happens, immediately the master says, in fact, it is you who should ask for forgiveness. The moment master realized that he is becoming aware, then he says, in fact, it is you who should ask for forgiveness. I called 3 times and still you did not wake, did not respond. So now you ask for forgiveness. I am calling you for no reason. You should be grateful to me. Hence, an apology is required. When desire calls, there is a reason. And when call arises out of compassion, there is no reason. Master's call is out of compassion, not out of desire to get something done. The master did not want water from him or anything. When desire calls, there is a reason. When call arises out of compassion, there is no reason. So, who should be grateful? So who should be grateful? The entire koan explains 2 sides of your heart. As I said, in life everything is total. Only you have to wait for the right moment. And meditation or dhyan is your life energy. Whenever you want to use this energy, whenever you want to use the energy of dhyan, life begins to blossom. Now, even the scientists have reached to a significant conclusion about plants. When you give your attention or dhyan to the plants, they tend to grow faster and healthier. Flowers and fruits begin to blossom faster. On the contrary, if you give everything to the plant in the right proportion, but do not give your attention, then blossoming is delayed. A mother who gives her attention to a baby, besides milk, the baby gets nourished faster and remains healthier. Milk is the food of the body. Milk nourishes the body cells. The other is the food for the soul. Dhyan nourishes your soul. One who you love, your dhyan goes towards him. No matter how busy you may be, your consciousness or satori continues to overflow towards that person. It matters not how far you are, your dhyan remains towards him. Love your trust. From that will evolve your love for the master. Once you love your trust, then your love for the Master will grow. Once you are connected to your trust within, your communion or Rabita will happen with the Master. Once you are connected to your trust. If you are not connected to your trust within, no matter how much you may try to be with the Master, communion will not happen. This is the essence of Rabita. Scientists say not only man, even animals strive for totality. You go to a chimpanzee in a zoo and make a 3/4 circle around the animal and leave the chalk there. Chimpanzee will be restless that the circle is incomplete, and immediately he will pick up the chalk and draw the line that completes the circle. You can experiment with that. You also remain restless because everything needs to be complete. There are certain things you can complete. Also, there are certain things which you cannot complete, only you will have to wait for it to complete. This is the only difference between science and religion. Science searches those things that you can complete. You can complete the circle. You can fix a machine. Science can complete the objects, and religion completes human beings. There you cannot do anything, only you will have to wait for the right moment. Science is effortless and religion is a wait, a patience. You have nothing to do, just be patient and wait. Grass grows by itself. Grass wants for spring to come in. Face trust and turn your back towards doubt. You will find the energy of doubt transforms into trust, and all energy will begin to flow towards trust. The day trust is total, the Master calls you and you need not even respond, you will be awake. All this effort is for a call. Then Master will act as a catalyst in your process of growth. Then you will realize doing leads to nowhere. Master's presence alone does everything. Master is the key to transformation. Master is the key to transformation. Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day.